Alright, good evening, David. I think today we'll do a little explanation on the echelon matrix reduction, and then we have systems of equation. So let's see how we can, you know, look at the problems involved in the echelon matrix reduction. So we have the first, which is a two system of simultaneous equation: 2x plus 5y equal to 7 and 5x minus 2y equal to minus 3. So the augmented matrix is written in this form. So our main target is to make this figure, the first element, this figure, to be equal to 1. So if I'm able to make this figure to be equal to 1, I will now use this figure to make this to be equal to 0, and as well use this figure to make these figures 1, and use it to make this one equal to what, 0. So first make the element in the red to be what, 1, starting with what, a11, which is the element in the first row and the first column. So let's proceed and see what we are going to do. Then the operation is that we said that r1 implies r2 divided by what, 2. Why? Because the element on that position in consideration is 2, so we have to divide it by 2. Okay, doing that, we'll now go back to dividing it by 2. So if I divide this by 2, I get 1. Divide this by 2, I get 5 over 2. Divide this by 2, I get 7 over 2. Then we'll now proceed again, and then we have used the 1 in what, a11, to make 5 to be equal to what, 0. So now go further to see what we're going to do. What's the operation next? Now r2 implies what, r2 minus 5 r1. Why do we say minus 5 r1? Because the element here before initially was 5. So if we do that now, the current r2 will be the previous r2 minus 5 times the previous r1, or the existing r1. So if I do that, if I use 5 to multiply this 1, I'll get 5. Then the initial r2 was 5, so 5 minus 5 will give us what, 0. So if we do the same thing, if I use 5 to multiply this, I'll get 25 over 2, and then I subtract that from the previous r2. The previous r2 there was what, minus what, 2. So if I do that, I think that will give me plus. So I get 25 over 4, and then minus 25 over 4, then minus what, the previous r2, which is 2. Yes, that will give us what, I think that will give us minus 29 over 2. So if we do the same thing here, we have minus 41 over what, 2. So that makes the other element minus 29 over 2 in red to be what, to be 1. Make the other element in this. So we try to make this element to be 1, and then doing that, we have to divide the whole of r2 by minus 29 over 2. So I think that will be the operation we need to do. So if we do that operation, we have this equal to what, 1. Then if I divide this other part, I will have 41 over 29. Now we will now use this particular one in what, a22, meaning the element in the second row and the second column, to make what, 5 over 2, which is this, equal to what, 0. So meaning that we have to multiply the whole of what, r2 by 5 over 2, and then we'll now use that to subtract this other one. So let's see the operation. I think on the operation, we have my new r1 implies the old r1 minus 5 over 2 r2. So if we do that, we'll now have 1 and then 1, then we have 0, 0, then we have minus 1 over 29, 41 over 29. That makes x to be equal to minus 1, which is this, over 29, and y equals to 41 over 29. Thank you.